Yo, 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 what is happening? Last man on the bench. That's me, Zach Selwyn, sports outlaw, aka the self-checkout felon. Man, sports. We're back on this completely brand new, beautiful spring day, last day of April podcast, April 30th, 2024. I just had a birthday. I turned 36 for the 13th straight year. Shout out to me. I look great. Couple of bags under the eyes, but you drink 3 bottles of wine a night. That's what happens. God bless America. God bless the NBA. God bless Major League Baseball, hockey. It's the best time of year for sports, and I'm here to break it down for y'all on a very special episode of Last Man on the Bench. And we're even cracking boxes today, baby. We're going to crack a Skybox basketball cards. Look at this thing, 1990-91. There's 36 packs in this thing. There's a Jordan or two in here, I know that. There's a Neek. There's an Akeem the Dream. There's a Ewing. Sean Kemp. Woo! We're going to get into that. I was 15 years old when this came out. I was 5 years old when this. How old am I? Whatever the case, we're going to crack into this Skybox, and I'm going to give you my personal pack break commentary. I'm sick of all these guys on Instagram breaking packs and talking about the value of stuff. I'm going to talk about the other stuff. Like the Karl Malone had a baby with a 13-year-old kind of shit. We're going to get into that kind of stuff. That's what we do here on Last Man on the Bench. But that's going to happen in a little bit. We're also going to get into the end of the Lakers. I live in LA. Not a lot of happy people out here today. Not a lot of happy people out here today at all. Get into that. And then, of course, my Phoenix Suns going down. No surprise there. And we'll talk about Olivia O'Brien. I don't know if you know who this girl is, but she was the viral boob girl at Staples or at Crypto.com a couple nights ago. Talk about how her career is going off. I'll get into that. It's not just about the boobs, but that's what drew the attention. But I really like where this girl's mind is at and how she's promoting herself as an artist. And finally, we're going to talk a little bit about Kawhi Leonard, about Brian Windhorst talking about a superstar going to San Antonio and who we think it could be. My early prediction is Devin Booker, but we got a lot to talk about. We'll get into this. It's Tuesday. I'm not working. This is my job. This is what I do. Drinking, cleaning, podcasting. I do 3 things in life. Occasionally I parent. You're here with Last Man on the Bench. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Last Man on the Bench channel. Hit the follow button, the subscribe button. Make sure to share. We'll post some online content, dude. This is the best sports show not being watched in the world. Last Man on the Bench. Let's get into it, baby. April 30th. Do me a favor. Play me my recent viral video song that got me death threats. Let's go.
I got to sing the 4 questions to Wagon Wheel. It's not great. It's Passover in Nashville.
That song is from Rodeo. Zach Rides Again. The best comedy music album of the year. If I don't get nominated for a Grammy this year, I'm pissed. Fucking just give it to Andy Samberg again. Shout out, Andy. Much love. Dude, enough about my music career. My last song about Jonte Porter and his gambling addiction, I did okay. It didn't do the numbers I would have hoped. You know what? I guess some people don't like to listen to everything. I get it. It's how it works. But today we're talking sports, we're talking Skybox, and we're talking the Lakers. Dude, this series was a shit show from the beginning. The Lakers led like 80% of the time during this series, yet they lost 4-1. D'Angelo Russell, some games he would score 27. Some games he would score a goose egg, 0 for 10. Last night he went 2 for 10 from 3. Darvin Ham said some of his players are playing like shit. It's hard to be here. LeBron's the real coach of the team. Everybody knows that. He's wearing a do-rag after the game like it's in 2003. I don't know. As a former Lakers fan, I'm a recovering Lakers fan. I was a Lakers fan when I first moved to LA. So I'm a Kobe, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, Shaq. Those are the greatest years to be a Lakers fan. The Derek Fisher shot, the .4. Now I fucking hate the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know why. It might have started in the Nick Young years, or maybe it was the later Kobe years when he just had a little bit of a different, I mean, I don't know. I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan. He was my favorite player in the NBA for many years, but I cannot get behind the crybabiness of LeBron, the D'Lo inconsistency. The Anthony Davis gave himself like a 40-minute massage in that game yesterday. I don't know what's going on. I do know this. They are in Cancun, and the Nuggets are rolling to face the very impressive Minnesota Timberwolves. That's probably going to be the series of the playoffs. You know, sometimes the conference finals, the semis are better than the finals. That's facts. Every year there's always a game that you're like, this is the real finals. We just watched the real finals. But whatever the case, Nuggets played great. Jokic, unbelievable. Nothing I'm saying is surprising anybody here. Here's what I want to talk about. D'Angelo Russell. My friend was telling me, he goes, D'Angelo Russell is one of those players who plays better when there's some baddies on the sideline. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like every couple, a couple games a year, there's like two just beautiful women stacked, curvy on the sidelines. And a dude like D'Lo goes for 38. Jordan Poole was the same way. Jordan Poole was like, he has this famous meme where he's like, oh, looking at some baddies on the sideline. And he goes off for like 28 points, like 6 of 6 3-point shooting. Sideline baddies. Shout out to all of you for making these guys play better. I remember when I played high school basketball, even though I was the last man on the bench, if the hot girl in high school showed up to watch the game, which they rarely did, I think we went 2-15 on the season, I was going off. I went from Zach Selwyn to Zach Levine. I was like, yo, Wendy Morris is in the house. I'm going to throw my little spin move on the lane on my crossover drive. Maybe I missed the shot, but whatever. I once hit a free throw in front of a girl, and I kind of looked at her, and she like smiled, and like that was it. Bag secured. You know, that definitely led to a makeout session 2 years later in high school. So I get the sideline baddies, and I think D'Lo is the victim of sideline baddies. If there were some better-looking women in Denver last night, he would have hit 30, and the Lakers would still be playing. This is a ridiculous theory, by the way. It's the Jordan Poole, D'Lo sidelines baddies theory that they play better when there is a beautiful, front row. Speaking of which, look, I get it. Everything we do in life, you play better if you're trying to impress somebody, especially someone of the opposite sex or someone who you find attractive. You know what I need on this podcast? I need a side camera baddie. I need like two beautiful girls here watching me do this podcast. I'd be like Joe Rogan at this point, bro. We'd be looking at like 20 million subscribers, cash money. I'd have a mattress endorsement by now. By the way, I don't even need a baddie. Like, I'm not a guy who chases a like when you think of what a baddie is, that's the girl with like the taut skin, the big lips, the fake eyelashes, which I hate, the tits, the BBL. That's not my style. Me, I want like Piper Paraboo there. Give me the most basic white waspy girl who's cute watching me, and forget it. I'll be winning all kinds of awards for this podcast. Put Barbara Palvin, like a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. I'll be like, oh, okay, watch this. Drop right into it. I need someone Mike side. Let's get some Mike side baddies. We're looking for y'all. If you want to be a Mike side baddie and come into this gorgeous studio and hang out with the last man on the bench, we're recruiting to make this show better. I'm the Jordan Poole and D'Angelo Russell of podcasting. Come on in, sit right there. We'll all make $1 million. Sorry, Lakers. The show must go on. Speaking of sideline baddies, I don't know if anyone saw this, but there's this moment in Game 4 back in LA when a girl walks by Mike Malone, the Denver coach, wearing a very low cut top. Like, I'm wearing something kind of similar, but I don't have what she had going on. And it was, it was like down to here. And like a perfect screenshot of Malone, using his iPad or something. But someone wrote like, you better be using that as a mirror, because there was a girl behind him who was pretty well endowed and gorgeous and, young and beautiful. And everyone's like, dude, who is this girl? Who is this girl? So it turns out this girl's name is Olivia O'Brien, and she is the viral boob girl from the Nuggets-Lakers game. Here's a photo of Olivia, and you can see why NBA Twitter or X and NBA social media went crazy. Beautiful, beautiful young lady. However, since this moment of virality, by the way, she's 24 and is sitting in the second row in a massive playoff series. I am well into my 40s. I have never sat closer than like the 200 section. So I don't know how these people are clutching these tickets. Clutching? Is that a word? I don't know how they're getting these tickets. I'm the biggest basketball fan in the world. I've never sat lower than the 200 section at an NBA game. College, I got it locked. NBA, maybe once. I went to Milwaukee with Desmond Mason for a commercial. He put me in like the fifth row. But not at Staples, not at Crypto.com during a playoff series against arguably the best team in the NBA. No, but this girl's there. She goes viral. Everyone's going crazy. And she says, and God bless her, a lot of people would have taken this opportunity to shout out some, this is unwarranted, this is harassment, this is sexualizing me. No, she basically said, look, hey, crazy. Yes, I'm the viral boob girl. I'm also an NBA fan. And while you're looking at this, quote, most of you are probably men, which is not my typical audience. You may also know me from this song back in the day. She played it and she said, thanks for the boob appreciation. Now let's get to streaming, boys. Yes, Olivia O'Brien, that is how you do it. It's a sad state of affairs in the entertainment industry. Me, I've also had a band for 20 plus years. I've been signed to a hip hop label. Yeah, I used to be one of those white rapper dudes. I have a country rock band. I still play all over the country. I just played in Idaho. I just played in Tucson. I'm going to Pioneer Town, May 17th. Come see me at the Red Dog Saloon. Man, if I could just get one viral shot of my chest behind the bench at a playoff game, I'd go triple platinum. Do I need to wear like some tights and shove a cucumber in my pants and walk behind the bench maybe? That's how I get signed. That's it. We're changing up my whole fucking approach. Fuck songwriting, F artistry, forget my videos. I'm throwing a cucumber in my trousers and I'm going to go stand behind the bench and get a deal. But look, the bulge is the bulge. Olivia O'Brien, congratulations on your success. I hope your songs are good and that people don't just look at you as an object. I think you got a good platform here. I'm going to be interested in following her career, because if this girl can blow up from just being the boob girl behind Mike Malone in the Crypto.com arena, anything's possible for any of us. Last man. Let's roll, baby.
Look up at the stars under which we're riding. I want them to come on.
There's a lot of fun stuff going on in other sports right now. I really like the fact that the Minnesota Twins, is it the Twins, have like a home run sausage. Rocco Baldelli said that the Minnesota Twins have a rally sausage. That was my nickname in college. The Twins rally sausage. Some guy on the Twins, Ryan Jeffers, decided that if you're raking, he was going to throw a sausage at you, a huge summer sausage, like a big cock of pepperoni or salami or whatever it is. They have a 7-game win streak. Dudes are hitting because of the sausage, the rally sausage. Man, I love the rally sausage. I didn't even expect to get into this today, but that's what I love about baseball. That's what I love about sports. Some guy's keeping a rancid, old, flaccid sausage in his bag Rocco Baldelli, the coach, is like, yo, or the manager, he's like, this thing ain't been refrigerated in about 2 weeks. And it's wrapped up in some cellophane. Take a look at this thing. Look at this thing. That thing is disgusting. It's pornographic. It's beautiful. This is the beauty of baseball. I'm going to follow the Twins rally sausage as long as I can. I just wanted to go onto it for a second. But, one day that thing's going to open up. They're going to unseal it. And it's just going to be a wretched, hopefully not on like a team flight where people are trapped indoors all together for 8 hours or something. It's just going to be disgusting. And when that happens, Last Man will alert you. Blip, blip. Keep rolling, baby. Last Man. All right. NBA stuff. The Suns, the Phoenix Suns. Look, you boys from Arizona. Can I claim to have been a Suns fan my whole life? Most of my life. Not my whole life. When I was a kid, I was more of a Knicks fan. Shout out Jalen and the Villanova crew. But when I was in my teenage years and I really started to follow basketball, Skybox 90-91, I started to dig the Suns. And then 93, here comes Barkley. Here comes Ainge, Marley. Great team. NBA Finals, Jordan, of course, beats them. Depressing, but Jordan's that dude. And since then, the Suns have continued to do what they do every year. They have incredibly gifted teams, and then they tear them apart thinking that they were one piece away from a championship, and then it's starting blocks again. And that's what just happened. A couple years ago, the Suns had a squad. Devin Booker, height of his powers. Young, hustler, ball player. They were calling him the Little Mamba. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, DeAndre Ayton. Chris Paul looked young again. He was young. That was a team. They made the NBA Finals, but they didn't win it, and everyone blamed Ayton. You can't blame Ayton. No one could have guarded Giannis Antetokounmpo in that series. But what did the Suns do? They decided that team wasn't good enough, and they broke them up. Chris Paul bounces. Ayton goes to Portland. A couple of days later, they trade Mikal and Cam for KD. And then they signed Bradley Beal to the worst contract of all time. He's got like a Bobby Bonilla contract. And they trade all their draft picks, which means the Suns are FUCT fact. Believe me, this happens in Phoenix every 10 years. Barkley, what happened in 2003? Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash. Super exciting team. One of the greatest teams to watch of all time. The greatest point guard center combo in a long time. They demolished that team after they don't win it. Now, Suns fans are like, what happened? We had Bradley Beal, D Book, and KD, and they couldn't do shit. They got swept. The brooms, dude. No picks left. They might have a second round pick somewhere, which means they get some scrub out of like, I don't know, Gonzaga. But it's fucked. The GM's an idiot. I know Robert Sarver, the former owner, was a racist fuck too, but at least he knew how to get a team together. These guys are like the Lakers. They're playing with old money, old players. Booker will be fine. Brian Windhorst, great NBA analyst, said he thinks there's going to be a superstar, maybe a mid-level, not like a guy in the middle of his career going to San Antonio to join Victor Wembanyama and become his partner. Yes, this is going to happen. And a lot of people are saying it's going to be Trae Young. I don't think so. I think it's Devin Booker. If this happens, the last man crystal ball, which I have brought out a few times, is going to come to fruition. I predicted the Warriors would make the playoffs when no one else did. I predicted Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would be in the top 3 for MVP voting. I predicted the Lakers and Suns would go out in the first round. I mean, these aren't hard predictions, but if I can tell you that Devin Booker will end up on the Spurs for some draft picks and the Suns need to rebuild, mark my words, last man on the bench, calling it like I see it. I spent my whole life on the bench watching basketball. I know what's going on. Whew. I mean, look, I hope the Suns get rid of everybody but Booker, but no one wants Beal. People are done with Durant. No one wants him. I mean, unless you're like the Grizzlies. Like, go to the Grizzlies, KD. Just go finish out. Go score 1,000 more points. Get on the all-time lists. I don't know. There's a lot going on in Phoenix that needs to be fixed, including that mascot, including the ownership and the moves and whoever traded away the youth for the knees and the Achilles of Durant and Beal. Rumor is Booker wants out. Stephen A says he's going to New York. I don't know. Booker to San Antonio. That's your last man on the bench. Prediction. Market 2, dude. Market 8, dude. Last man. Rolling. Let's open the Skybox. LA Clippers. Speaking of the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard sat down again in another game that the Clippers won. Paul George and James Harden play better together without Kawhi on the floor. But my question is Kawhi done? Kawhi Leonard, 2 times Finals MVP, 2 rings, all NBA. Quiet, lovely gentleman. Laughs like this. Is his career over? It's insane to think that load management was so criticized by the NBA, and now everybody's clowning him for not playing because of his knees. The dude played 68 games this year, and he balled out. He looked like the old Kawhi, unstoppable, led the Clippers to that 4 seed. But there's a look in his eyes right now that says this could be the end. I really hope not. I love Kawhi Leonard. I love his basketball IQ, his game. Doesn't talk shit. He doesn't complain about fouls. He's just a robot. He's on batteries. We're hoping for you, Kawhi. We're pulling for you. We want to see you play in Game 5. I don't know, but maybe the Clippers don't. I wouldn't even play him. They play better without him in the lineup. It's almost like he comes in and it's a distraction. Let Harden and Paul George run the offense. Let the third option be Zubac or what's this fuck? The shooter. I just don't force it. Don't ruin this guy's career. Don't RG3 this dude. Throw him in when he's not ready because he looked like crap in the last game he played. And the Claw deserves better. We'll see what happens there. But a lot of good stuff happening in the NBA. Good night to the Suns. Good night to the Lakers. Woo. We'll see what happens. T-Wolves Nuggets is a hell of a freaking series. Boston looks like they're cruising to the next round. And shit, man. It is what it is. I'm hungry, dude. I need a rally sausage. Last man. I still get high. Finally, let's get into this, dog. The Skybox. This is a 1990-91 Skybox regular season debut issue box. We're going to open this thing once I figure out what cards are valuable in this fucker. Skybox 1990-91 desired cards. We know Jordan. Here's what you want. The one we're looking for is the 1990 Skybox Prototypes, number 41, Michael Jordan PSA. 10. Well, we need a 10. Worth $5,656. Jesus. But then there's a 1990 Michael Jordan that's $2.71. So we're looking for the prototypes. I don't even know if that's in this box. But this is the premier box, and we're going to get into this right now. Setting up some cameras. Try to get a Sidney Green or a Sam Mitchell or an Eric Lechner. All the almost Hall of Famers. But look at this. Oh, here we go. We want the Jordan, the prototypes Jordan, the Gary Payton and NBA draft is in this set. The Charlotte Hornets team card is worth money for some reason. Chris Mullin, Larry Bird, of course. And then we're getting into like Gerald Henderson's, Bill Laimbeer's, Kendall Gill's, and Vlade Divac's. I'm looking for that Jordan. I'm looking for that Charlotte Hornets card for some reason. And the Gary Payton's always exciting. I'm sure there's going to be a Sean Kemp in here. Let's open this Skybox, baby. Let's see what we can do. Oh, yeah. There we go, baby. Skybox basketball cards, 1990-91 season. Akeem, David Robinson. Woo! Now, here's what we're going to do. We're only going to open 2 packs today because, my man, the camera's a little down. I'm breaking this thing, though. I'm breaking this box open. I'm going to open 2 packs and see what we got. This is the Last Man on the Bench basketball card showcase. Skybox 1990-91. Here are the first 2 packs out of this beautiful thing. We got one here. And we got here the inaugural edition. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, here we go. Now, I've never really done a card break before. I've collected cards my whole life. We all know about my LeBron James disaster with that rookie card that's worth 3 cents that I paid $50 for. But back in the 90s, 80s, I was that dude. I was collecting this shit. But I've never done a live break before. We're going to save this big box for next time. But we're going to get into 2 packs and 2 packs only. It's 2-pack Shakur day here on Last Man on the Bench. We're looking for that Jordan Prototypes number 41 or even the 41 Skybox regular. Damn, how do they package this shit back in the day? Do I need to use my teeth? Man, I forgot how hard these are to open. All right, here we go. That's professional. Let's unwrap this shit. Okay. Ooh, okay. We're starting this one off hot with a Dan Shays, one of the whitest men in the history of basketball. Look at those nut huggers. Looks like a Ukrainian volleyball player. Look at that guy. That's worth shit. Does Shays, isn't that German for shit? Shays? You know. All right, Dan. Nice. Reggie Theus. The great Reggie Theus. Next. Playing for the Magic back then. Good looking shot. Look at that jump shot. That was nice. Reggie had a mustache. Look at that dick broom on Reggie Theus, huh? Looks like John Oates. I can't go for that. Oh, no. No can do. No, I can't go for that. No, no. No can do. Jay Humphries. I've never even heard of this guy. He was on the Bucks. He's got a flaming basketball. Looks like a Phoenix Suns logo in his hand. Who's he going up against? And I don't know who that is on defense. It looks like a Laker, but I can't tell. Mr. Jay Humphries. Do the Humpty Hump. Adios. Ooh, Glenn Rice. That's a banger. Glenn Rice was a hell of a player at this time in his career. This might even be a rookie or a couple years in. This looks like, God, I need reading glasses. He still averaged 13.6. Glenn Rice with the high top fade. His son's actually playing. Glenn Rice Jr. is in the league now, but shout out Glenn Rice. That'll go in our little sleeve. This one will not. Fred Roberts. Mr. Roberts' neighborhood. I don't know. Fred Roberts had the flat top. He looked like he was definitely a member of an Elks club later on in his career. Hey, you know, he averaged 6.8 a game in the NBA, though. What have I averaged? Not much. Shout out to that jumpsuit. I'd wear that. Who's next? Danny Young. Another flaming all these have flaming basketball. Now, Danny Young, I don't know anything about Danny Young. Who is this guy? 5.1. You know, Danny Young, Blazers. It's crazy to think that at one point this dude was like, his career was basketball. Now no one knows who he is. Dana Barros. I know who that is. Now, Dana Barros was a great college player and a decent NBA player. He had a great haircut. Look at that. See that? That was the Belle Biv DeVoe cut. You put a line in your high top fade back in the day, you were money. If you had that line in the fade, woo, you were getting girls pregnant all over the country. Wonder why Dana Barros' kids are not playing pro ball right now. Oh, look at this guy. The Dutch boy in the paint, Rick Smits. Rick Smits. This guy was awesome. 7 boards, 6 boards, 13.5 points a game, 7'4". This is the original Wemby. 7'4", dog. This guy was the Dutch Wembanyama. Not as skilled, but shout out to my man Rick Smits. Here we go with Winston Bennett. I think those are 2 cigarette companies, Winston and Bennett. You know, pure relief. This guy averaged 6 points a game playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know about Winston Bennett. Oh, yes. Yes. What? Double Steve Kerr? Steve Kerr rolls the best blunts. in the NBA. I don't know if you know my Steve Kerr obsession, but this was the kid. This is one of my childhood heroes. I wrote a song about Steve Kerr smoking weed. Someone play it for me.
Well, Steve Kerr rolls the best blunts in the NBA. As Swaggy P,
Steve Kerr,
as
Pacific
Steph
Palisades,
Curry,
California,
and
the
they
same high school as my
always
son.
says this way.
This is him on the Cavs before he played for the Bulls and won all those titles, before he coached the Warriors to multiple titles. And we got a double Steve Kerr, a double Kerr. What is this? This is insane. Look how handsome he was. Guy just looks like his name is Chad, and he surfs, and he's going to take your girl home from the prom. I'm putting both Steve Kerrs on the box. Whew, that's beautiful. Steve Kerr, University of Arizona's finest. I still have a jersey. I'll bring out my Steve Kerr jersey on the show one day. My Arizona number 25. And we got 2 in a row. What are the odds of that? I've never seen that before, by the way, in all the packs of my life. Who's next? Brian Rossum. All right, Brian. I don't know much about you either. All these guys average like 5, 6 points. I'm getting a lot of second unit guys here. Shout out Brian Rossum. Oh, look at this. Speaking of great NBA careers post the NBA, Kenny the Jet Smith on the Hawks. Stretching. Look at that. Look at that. How stretchy he was. That was before he had to run for the board against Barkley. Dude, I love Kenny Smith. He was averaging 14.4 back then. He had the mustache, won a dunk contest. Woo! Kenny Smith. I'll put that in the board here. Who's next? Mike Sanders and Mike McGee. 2 Mikes that I couldn't tell you anything about. Mike McGee, I sort of remember because he was on the Suns back in the early 90s. But both, again, a couple mid-level players. Whatever. We hit the Kenny Smith, the Glenn Rice, and the double Steve Kerrs. We got a Duncan Dutchman. Let's do one more pack on our inaugural Skybox edition. 15 NBA cards. This is when you can get 15 NBA cards for like $2. Nowadays, it's like 3 cards for $40. The game's done changed. But I love this. This is fun. Who do we got in this pack? We're looking for that Jordan. We're looking for that Sean Kemp. We're looking for anything that's going to make us happy. Let's start this one off with Alexander Volkov, the Russian bastard. I forget this guy's nickname, but he was another mid-level player for a year or two. Nothing exciting there. Tom Garrick from the Clippers. Forgettable Clippers teams. This is when I think there was a lot of yayo around the Clippers locker room. Tom Garrick, shout out. Wayne Cooper. Wasn't he the guy in the Wonder Years? Was that Kevin Arnold's brother, Wayne? Well, Wayne Cooper, I don't know anything about you either. Another 4 to 6 point, 8.6. Look, he's playing Vlade in the back there. I like the design of these cards. There's multiple color images and some little 80s, 90s, like looks like the highlight you got at your school picture back then. Orlando Woolridge, of course. He had a nice little career, averaged about 16 a year game that year. That's a nice run, number 0 on the Lakers there. Athletic player for sure. What else we got? Ooh, Gerald Wilkins, Dominique's younger brother. Gotta love G-Dub. This guy was a force on the Knicks. I love the Knicks, and I love Gerald Wilkins. I like this card. Averaging 15.8 back then. Those 90s Knicks, baby. They had so much to offer. Just didn't quite happen. Terry Porter, another guy who almost became a champion. Maybe he did on a team later in his career. I don't know. But this guy was another great player. Him and Clyde the Glide at this time when Portland was unstoppable. And then one of the greatest names in the history of basketball, Kiki Vandeweghe, where there's a Will Vandeweghe. I love Kiki. Let's have a Kiki. Averaged 22.5 in his NBA career at this point. That's no joke, man. I don't care who you are. Another New York Knick. I love the shorts. Look at that NY symbol on those shorts right there. That's when basketball was basketball. Ooh, Tommy Hammonds, Georgia Tech. Great. Tommy Hammonds there, posting up on someone on the list. AC Green. You look like AC Green. Bitch, don't call here anymore. Shout out Dr. Dre. Tom Hammonds. Another 5 to 6 point score. Dennis Hobson, same kind of deal, except for he averaged about 13 for the New Jersey Nets back before they were in Brooklyn. Horace Grant, great pickup for the Bulls at this time. The Horace Grant story is one to admire. He was a great forward, 6'10". Shout out to Ho Grant. Jeff Turner boxing out nobody and missing an arm. Look at that. He looks like he has one arm. Looks like my man Emmanuel Hansel. Shout out. My favorite prep college viral player of all time. This is the original man with one arm. Jeff Turner. I don't know where he's at. Oh, yes! The Arizona love continues. Sean Elliott. This is crazy. My two childhood heroes in the first two packs. Sean Elliott, Tucson, Arizona, born and raised. Could have played anywhere he wanted. He decided to stay in Tucson and play for Coach Lute Olson. And this is when he was hitting 10 a game. This is early in his career. This is like his second year. He ended up becoming an all-star. Of course, the Memorial Day Miracle. No. What was it? The Labor Day, whatever the shot was. Of course, the Sean Elliott shot. You know what I'm talking about, that three-pointer. And he goes, I told you. Insert clip here. Sean Elliott and Steve Kerr in two packs. Shout out Tucson, Arizona. Roy Tarpley, I believe, had a little bit of a cocaine problem. No problem there, Roy. I got a drinking problem. We're all in the same boat. Oh, Tommy Chambers. Another one of my favorite Phoenix Suns players. Look at that. How 90s is that haircut? Hey, girls, want to come over and have a pool party? Shout out Tommy Chambers, one of the best dunks ever in the history. And then we got a checklist. I don't like these checklists. I hated getting checklists back in the day. But, hey, Reggie Miller's name's on it. I don't know what that means. And Richard Anderson to finish us out. No Jordan, no Kemp, no Robinson, no Hakeem. We got a Glenn Rice. We got two Steve Kerrs, a Sean Elliott, and a Kenny the Jet Smith. It's like an all broadcaster pack here. Because all these guys work in sports media. Kerr, is a coach, and Kenny, and you know how it is. Sean Elliott's the Spurs play-by-play guy. That's going to do it for us here. Love doing that. I love doing that. That was really fun unboxing these things. And let's get more Skybox going next week. Nothing wrong with reliving your childhood every once in a while, man. And remember, it's never too late to have a happy childhood. That's what we say at Last Man on the Bench. My name is Zach Selwyn. So happy you could join me this week. Make sure to follow us, subscribe to the YouTube channel, watch my sports gambling show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday called Fade or Tail. It's on Parlay Max, all streaming services, social media. Learn how to build your best parlays. I will be playing live comedy, music, country rock in LA. I'm doing 2 songs on May 9th at the Desert 5 spot, and then I'm going to Joshua Tree, Pioneer Town at the Red Dog Saloon May 17th. On Friday night, I'm playing from 5 till 8 p.m. Come say hi, meet the last man on the bench. Ask me why I wear this cowboy hat, why I like to show off my chest hairs. I'm going to be as big as that viral boob girl, Olivia O'Brien. Call the show. We'd love to have you on. We'll see y'all down the road, man. Last Man on the Bench rolls on. New episode, new week. Happy May, y'all. It's gonna be May. I hate that stupid. What am I doing?
Well, Steve Kerr rolls the best blunts in the NBA. As Swaggy P.